Hello, Letiza. How are you? Ciao. Hello, Mark. Welcome. Hello, Giovanni. Good to see you. Good to see you yesterday, too. Rilla, good to see you. Hello, Linda. Hello, Anika. Sweden's online. Okay. Here in Seattle, we have it was been raining, so we have rain probably till the last part of June. We'll have rain. In some ways, that's good. It's good for the plants, but I'm looking forward to some sunlight. Hello, Diane. Okay. Hello, everybody. So let me put this down. So we're going to go over today 5, 10, about 15 different colors. We're going to do the grays, and we're going to do the lunars. Hello, Ethel. Hello, Anna. Hello, Stella. Good to see you, Stella. Okay, I'm going to put this down and put this keyboard back here. Well, Peggy, that's what happens when you live in sunny, beautiful California, where every day, especially San Diego, where they're just gorgeous days. It's beautiful. So what I thought I would do today is show you a couple things, and then we'll look at paint. But Bryn last week asked about, or the group asked about, yttrium. So yttrium right here. This is the new blue that was discovered, hello Istanbul, was discovered by Oregon State. So this is, and I'll do a paint out. This is what it looks like. This is the paint. This is the pigment. So that's the pigment. This is the paint. Let me show you, and then we'll paint it out as well. So I brought some other colors to kind of show you with the, here it is right here. Hello, Besnick. There it is right there. We don't have this color out. We test all types of colors, so we have tested it. This is the manganese blue U. This is the phthalo turquoise. I just want to kind of show you some other colors so you can see where this one goes in at. This is the phthalo blue green shade. This is the cobalt blue. This is the French. This is the phthalo blue red shade. So kind of showing you, this is kind of more of a blue violet. This new color would be a kind of a blue violet. It's super expensive. It's about $471 a pound. So some of you asked a while ago, which is one of the most expensive pigments? This one right here. Yeah, this one. It's $1 a gram, $1 per gram. That is cobalt teal. Indanthrone, Prussian blue, and then cerulean blue. Yeah, it does look like a swimming pool, doesn't it? It does. So I kind of give you a varying of colors, blues. Let me show you this. I graphed it out for you. So this is the warmest quadrant. This quadrant here is the warmest. Then we have cool, we have the coolest, and then warm. So warm, warmest, cool, and coolest. And the yttrium is right here. So it is in the cool quadrant. There we go. So it's in the cool quadrant. And indanthrone blue, right here, would be more red, because here's our red, so this would be more red, whereas the yttrium is going to be, it's more toward the green, so it'd be more green as compared to indanthrone. But it kind of gives you kind of a plot of where this particular new color would sit. Oh, which is my favorite? You know, my favorite is kind of a plain Jane. I really love the ultramarines. This is French ultramarine. Ultramarine, French ultramarine, they're probably my favorites as just a color, because I just love blue, and they're just a gorgeous blue. They're just really, really pretty. For you as artists, you want that versatility. This might give you more versatility, but just as a color, as someone looking at a color, I really like this. So there's the new one. Okay. So let me tell you some more about it. I also did the C Lab for us. And out of the colors, the cobalt teal is the brightest at 82. The next one is the manganese blue U. So manganese blue U. Then the cobalt blue. And then this new color. It's number 4. So about 50, you're kind of, gray. You go from 0 to 100. 0 is going to be the darkest. 100 is going to be the brightest. So that's 63. 50 is kind of where gray falls. Still reasonably, as compared to, let me show you one that's brighter, cobalt, teal blue. Okay, when you compare those two, this one's going to be much brighter. So let's do some other stuff about this particular color. I want to show you what it looks. Then we'll paint some of it out so you can actually see that. Rin had asked, how long does it take for a color to come out? So colors, pigment, is always being developed. So pigment is developed by corporations, it's developed by pigment companies, it's developed by laboratories. So for industry, for example, we look at the big automotive companies. Let's say Ford, for example. Ford has within their corporation, they have coating engineers or coating chemists, coating, C-O-A-T-I-N-G, and they're always looking at new colors. So sometimes it's within that company that they'll develop a new color. Sometimes a big pigment house will be under contract to come out with new colors for that particular company. Sometimes the pigment house will develop a color and send it to the industry, for example, maybe Ford, or Ford will send it to the industry house. There's a lot of things going back and forth. Some's being developed in this entity, some being developed in this entity, because it takes roughly about 20 years to come up and go through all the steps for a particular pigment. So let me show you that. I thought the question was really good, and I hope Rin's able to see this. So this is kind of like a chain of events. And this particular color, it's called PB, Pigment Blue number 86. So it has a color index name, PB86, but it doesn't have a color index number yet. So in 2009, Oregon State University discovered a blue pigment, and it was very interesting because of the amount of heat it could take. And then in 2012, this group right here at the university received a patent for this new pigment, 2012. 2015, it was licensed to Shepherd Color Company, Shepherd Pigment Company. In 2016, it went to Duke University, ACMI, for toxicology. 2017, it becomes approved for commercial use. 2000, and that was for Europe. And then in 2017 as well, it was, so 2017 it was approved in Europe. 2020, that's not too long ago, 2020, it was approved in the US because it had to go through the EPA and it had to go through TSCA. And then it was brought out in 2020 to be sold as a pigment for artist use. So, beautiful question, Rin. You can see it took about 11 years. That is super, super, super fast. And a lot of times industry can help with that because they can pick up a lot of the work. But this moved really, really, really quick. I'll post this too so you can see the timeline. If you'd like, you can see the timeline. Hello, Caroline. You can see the story. I'll post the story of the particular pigment. It was kind of serendipity in how it came to be. It has a really high heat index, so it can be used by industry. About the chemistry behind it. So I'll post this, you can take your time reading it. You can also see the chemistry of it. In reading this, when I read through it, you can change the intensity of the color by just the ratio between the iron and the manganese. So just by changing that ratio. And then the story about it for colors. So I'll go ahead and post this so you can read it. Yeah, that was quick, Rin. So 10 years, 11 years is super quick. Because one, if you look at, another way to look at it, if you look at vaccines, the world came out with vaccines in almost a year. Many vaccines would take, through all the testing, etc., that they're put through, would take, 5, 10, 15 years to come up with those. So just because the tools we have, the internet, how we can share information, it just puts everything kind of on the fast path. So the name comes from this university right here. This is Oregon State, and it was just the different elements they put together to create this. And it was a kind of an accident. And what the doctors noticed at the university is that this particular color, while it was super, super vibrant, was also very heat resistant, which then opens it up to other parts of industry, which is, extremely interesting. So I will post all this so you can read it over. I'll post it to either Facebook or the DS site. But it's kind of interesting information. I'll also post. Yes, that's correct, Eve. Yeah, I have that. same as what Eve just posted. So it comes from just yttrium, indium, manganese. So that's what it looks like, and then that's the color index name, PB86. And I'll put it over here so we'll use this right here, the color to play with today. So I'll put it over here. We are making really good ground on going over the color chart. So if it's blacked out, it means we've already seen it. I'm going to put this up. Oh my God, it's pricey. Yeah. So we're making really good ground in going through. We are done this page because we did ivory black. We have these two right here to go through. Deep scarlet. So we'll do those. But good ground. We'll go over about 15 of these today. Hello, Gabriel from San Diego. Brent says we want samples. Yeah, it's super pricey. It's $1 a gram. There was a question on one of the sites, and I always like to go over this with you guys. Then I'm going to go over it with the site as well. It was asked about anthracanoid red, and somebody had said, well, anthracanoid red is a fugitive color. It's a 3. So it depends on who's making the pigment. Just like anything else, there could be different companies making the pigment, and so they can vary. And so the ASTM lists in one of their books that anthracanoid red is a 3, which is it's not as good as a 1, which is 100 plus years, or a 2, which is 100 years. Ours, however, is not. Ours is a 1, and I wanted to show you this. So this is the blue wool scale. It's just another standard, and 0 on the blue wool scale says that it will fade. But if it's an 8, then it's deemed not to have altered from the original, and it's called light, fast, or permanent. So an 8 on the blue wool is equal to a 1 on the way that we do it, and the way that most color companies do it. And if you can see here, this is off of the pigment that we buy. And if you look right here, 8 and 8. And an 8 means it's equal to a 1 in light fastness. And so all I'm trying to show there is it really depends on what the company that's making the paint is buying. And that's also why we have a xenon phaedometer that we test everything. So even when the pigment company puts on what the light fastness is, we'll still test it to make sure that's what it is. Not many companies own xenon phaedometers. They're not inexpensive, but it's what you have to do to make sure that what you're selling to the artist is going to be as you state. So anthracanoid red, Daniel Smith, is a 1. Okay. So now let me read your questions. No, Anna. No. For us, so Anna Marie says, is $1 a gram the company purchasing price? Yes, that's correct. It's not to the end customer. So this would just be one part of the process is the pigment. There's other things that have to be done. Then there's all the labor, etc., that goes into it. So it makes it quite expensive. Just if it were pigment, it would be expensive. There's a company selling oil in a tube, and I believe they're selling their tube of oil for $70. $70. So it's quite expensive. Hello, George. Hello, Mark. Yeah, it's quite expensive. So let's look at it. I'm going to figure out what I do with my... Okay. Put this down. So now we can see what it is. Let's see. I took this from chemistry today. Do you want to see what the pigment looks like? I'll show you the pigment too. Okay. Hello, Olga. Okay. Use it all up. There we go. It's a little bit darker here in front of me than you're seeing on the screen. Let me see if I can make that go down some and get it closer for you. But there we go. Hello, Kathy, Spokane. Spokane is a very pretty place. Down near Wheatfield country. I'll tell you what I'll do, Eve, is I will get all the characteristics of it. I have the C lab, but let me get the rest of it, and I will answer that tomorrow. Okay, put that over here. It's a really good question, by the way. Oh. Probably could have put that over the top of something to show you. I will do that tomorrow. So today, we're going to look at the grays. And so I have Alvaro Castanet, Alvaro's gray, Joseph Zabuvic grays, James gray, neutral tint, Payne's blue gray, Payne's gray, and graphite gray. I know, I saw that, Rin. Yeah. Just as I was wiping it out, I thought that to myself as well. Rin says, oh, you just wasted all that beautiful in the palette. Yes. My hands were too fast. Yeah, I could have saved that for tomorrow as well. But there's lots of things I want to show you guys today, so I had to make room. I don't know. I'm thinking, George, it might be semi. I will get that tomorrow. Okay, this is going to be Alvaro's Caliente, Alvaro's Warm, Alvaro's Fresco. It's cool. Let's try those out. Can you see that? Let me get this over here. Move this mouse a little bit. There we go. So that's Alvaro Caliente. That's Alvaro Fresco. So Brent says, I love the grays. Z's is my favorite. Which one of the Z's, Brent? So we're going to do Joseph's Cool. And then we'll do Joseph's Neutral. So the neat thing about making these particular colors was the interaction between the artists going back and forth. So they had ideas about the color they wanted to make. They would put together samples of it. We would put together kind of what we came up with. We'd send it to them. They'd say, can you cool this down, warm this up? And it would go back and forth until the artist said, wow, that's it. That's what I wanted. That's what I like. So this is going to be Joseph's Cool. Joseph's Cool. And this is going to be Joseph's Neutral. Oh, that's pretty. Of course, I painted over Joseph's Neutral. That's Joseph's Neutral. Oh, okay. So Brent says here's the neutral. Yeah, there it is. And this is going to be the warm. So the one thing for these was the speed. Alvaro and Joseph, Jane can do, as probably as many of you can do, so quickly, because they know exactly how they want it to be, how they want to get to any of these particular colors. But if they're doing it in a session when they're training, it might take a while to go over it, and it's just faster if there's the ability to buy the color. Alvaro was saying yesterday that I believe it's the oh, now I'm going to get it wrong. There's 50-50 chance I'll get it right. There's only 2 of them. I believe it's the Caliente that he uses a lot. This is going to be Jane's Gray. A neutral tint, you can cool down a color without having it get muddy. It's kind of neat. This is Payne's Blue Gray. So this is Jane's Gray. What we're going to do next. Jane's Gray. So Giovanni, I love the neutral tint for the entire time of my life. Still okay. I don't know that. So Carolyn has a question. I know George is on right now and Giovanni's on. Does Joseph Neutral behave like neutral tint? Well, we're going to see neutral tint next. So let's see. So Joseph's. And let's get neutral tint. So this is neutral tint. So Joseph's, neutral tint. Okay. And then we have that. Touch that with my brush. Get that water out of there. There we go. Maybe this bigger brush is better. And this is Payne's. This is going to be Payne's Blue Gray. Payne's Blue Gray. Okay, so now this is neutral tint. Caroline, what's the weather like in Australia? What's your temperature? So Chris says, I love Payne's Gray. The blue gray is so interesting. I think it's going to be interesting next year, be able to travel, which would be just so, I think, so great to finally be able to travel again, meet with people. But Facebook and Zoom, it's been wonderful. I just enjoy my Thursdays and Fridays with you greatly. So the next one's going to be Payne's Gray. It's Payne's Blue Gray. Okay, Payne's Gray. Should be that one. And then Graphite Gray. I like this Graphite Gray. Cold. My home, big sunny skies in winter. It will be around 12 degrees Celsius. So double 24, 24, 30, about 56. Yeah, that's kind of our weather. That's kind of chilly. So Payne's Blue Gray, Payne's Gray. I was doing a presentation to South America yesterday, and Nicholas Lopez just uses blacks in just such a variety. It's so interesting to see. And this one's really super. It's like watching a pencil. It's almost like watching a pencil melt, this Graphite Gray. Can you see that? Let me show you here too. You can see it's right here, this Graphite Gray. Let me take some out, put it over here. It's just such a interesting color. It's almost like a liquid pencil. Okay, and that is Graphite Gray. Actually, the more it dries, the more it has that really cool graphite look. Okay, Alvaro Castanet. This is his Caliente, warm. This is his Fresco, cool. Joseph's, cool. Joseph's, neutral. Joseph's, warm. Jane's gray, Jane from Australia. Neutral tint. Payne's blue gray. Payne's gray. And graphite gray. They look really kind of cool when as they dry. He does use blue. He does use lunar black. Yes. It's almost like if I say maroon 5, I have no issue with that. But if I say maroon by itself, it just does something to my brain for some reason. So these are the grays. Let me take them off there. As they start to dry, they're really. So not all grays are the same. So I'm going to put that behind us and let it dry some more and show you once again when it dries. Here was our Joseph neutral and neutral tint. Okay. From the 14th of June, my region will become a white zone. Oh, that's good. That's really good. I thought we would do here is we would play with the lunar color. So even though we have seen, there we go. Even though we have seen the lunar black several times, I'm still going to put it out, and then we'll see how lunar red rock and lunar violet, how they're going to relate to the Hansa yellow medium. So we're going to play with that a little bit today and just see kind of does it do the same thing that the lunar black does. So we'll play with that. So there are 5 lunars, and let's just go ahead and play with them. So we will do, how to get that to work last time if we were able to see it. I did that. I'm going to do it that way if it's okay. And I'll bring it down some. There we go. And I'll bring it over a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do lunar red rock. And then lunar black. And do one more, and then do the other 2. Lunar violet. I haven't used some of these tubes. I can't find them. I can't find them quick enough when I'm going to do a presentation, so I go get another tube. And sometimes I have little tiny, it dries up on top because I don't clean my tubes probably well enough. But easy fix. Okay, so the first one's going to be Lunar red rock. Some more water to that. Lunar red rock. Okay. Lunar red rock. Yeah, sometimes I lose the tubes too. Today my chemist Ron was helping me find. I have moved from the new house. I have boxes and boxes of tubes behind me. And actually found everything I was looking for. This is the lunar black. And then if you want, we'll definitely do it with the yellow, but if you want me to mix some other one with it, I can do that. This is going to be the lunar violet. Lunar violet. Bren, where do you live? There's the Red Rock Canyons. Are you in Arizona or Utah? This is going to be the lunar earth. So this is lunar red rock. This is lunar black. This is lunar violet. It actually does look quite violet here. It doesn't look green too. Arizona, yeah. My father lived in Cottonwood, which is not that far away, I think. Wow, that's pretty. This is the lunar earth. So that's lunar earth. And then the last one be lunar blue. Then we'll mix them up with some yellow. Let's see how they behave. Lunar blue. Oh, got some of the lunar earth in there. But there's the lunar blue. Wow, 350 days of sunshine, my gosh. I tried that. Of course, I've been pretty good about it. Every once in a while I fail, but I try to dab. So there we go. Lunar red rock. Lunar black, lunar violet, lunar earth, I kind of like that, and lunar blue. So let's play with it with let's play with some yellow. My hands. Boy, it goes a long way in your hands too. There we go. Need some more water. There we go. So this is going to be the red rock. kind of know what it's going to do with the lunar black, because we've played with that before. So there's the black. Let me see that. Let me get that. Some are single. So lunar red rock, right here is pigment red 101, and lunar violet is pigment violet 15 and pigment black 11. And then we have the lunar earth right here. God, my eyesight is just unbelievable. Lunar earth is pigment brown 11. Oh, thank you, Eve. So let's try, so there it is with the black. So the black is kind of neat because it just doesn't want to be around, so it just pushes away. That's kind of nice too. So let's add some more violet. Let's try these other ones out here and put a little bit more violet so we see how that works. And we'll do some more earth, a little bit more earth. And a little bit more blue. Let's see how those behave. Come on. Okay. So here is this will be the violet. So that's going to be the violet. And now let's try the earth. Okay, try the earth. Let's do the lunar blue. God, this porcelain makes things so much easier. Okay. So, lunar blue. So let me show those to you. Yeah, I like that. The black has awesome granulation, but the violet has good granulation too. I mean, definitely the violet itself has granulation, but mixing with the Hansa Yellow medium is kind of interesting. There we go. And then the blue. The lunars have unbelievable granulation. They are very, very, very strong granulators. I mean, that's the black you'd expect. The violet, great granulation. The red rock, very good granulation. The blue, really good granulation. Okay. Excellent. Well, that was 15 colors that we went through, plus the yttrium. That's dry. Let me show it to you. So now it's dried a little bit more. And I'll give you the characteristics tomorrow. Okay. So, thank you for the comments of dabbing and not pulling off the water. And I love the labeling. That way you can... Is there a green? Probably one of the best granulating colors is green apatite. Green apatite is an unbelievable granulator. We're going to be going over the Permatex, but it would have just intense granulation. So granulation, for the most part, again, some of these violate it, or have exceptions, is usually caused by differential specific gravity. Something inside weighs something different than something else. It's a different size than something else. It has a different surface tension than something else. The lunar black for certain kind of violates that, because lunar black is a synthetic. It's all the same size, it's all the same shape, it's all the same weight, and yet it's an unbelievable granulator. So kind of interesting. It's kind of one of those things. It's kind of the world of art, is that there's exceptions, and that's kind of the beautiful thing. It's most things hold true, but there's always exceptions to the rule, and I personally kind of like that. Looks like cobalt with mine red, undersea green. Okay, can you mix your own? Can you mix your own? Is you? Oh, replying to Eve. Does the paper have an effect on colors? It depends. If it's a transparent, then you're going to see more of the paper coming through. So yes, to that extent, yes, absolutely. If it's a cold press paper, you tend to get more of this type of granulation, where it's following the valleys of the paper. If it were a hot press paper, then it might look more like a raindrop that goes out in a radial pattern, versus this right here, which is kind of following down it's like little riverbeds in the paper, and it's just following those down. But if it granulates, it's going to granulate. So great question. Maybe when we're done this, and we're done the Permatex, and we're done the luminescence, what I can do, if it's of interest to you and you like it, is I can pull all the colors that granulate. So all of them, whether they're Permatec or not Permatec, synthetic, natural, organic, inorganic. I can pick out all the granulating colors, and we can just see all the colors that granulate. I'm super open to do that. If that's of meaning to you, I'd love to do it. So with that, everyone, thank you so much for being with me. I really super appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow if you're here tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. And just give you one more look at what we did today. So here is the lunar blue. Those are our lunar colors, along with seeing what it would do with Hansa yellow medium. Boy, that camera's really quick today. Here's our grays that we looked at. Just a variety of grays, warms, neutrals, cools. And there's the blue we're talking. So Rin, thank you for that question. It was a great question. So there's the yttrium. And with that, I thank you all very, very much. Thank you for sharing your day with me. And I will see you later. Bye-bye.